Hello, Internet. Welcome back to a strange, new, amazing, overwhelming final arc of the Final Fantasy XIV first story. We're here. I do not know what to expect. I'm going to hide the XP bar for now. In fact, let's hide these as well. Ooh, no. Let's see what awaits us here. A strange new world. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. So, what kind of creatures are we going to see here? Ostracan Deca Octo. So we've got dragony type things that we've seen before in, say, Stone Vigil. Stellar dragons. And it makes sense. It's the end of a Final Fantasy game. Sticking some dragons in. Best way of showing. On the subject of there were dragons on this star before, but they are gone. What the hell is that? The remains of houses, settlements. This dragon's still alive? The vitrified fort. I see no one else in the Barren's Waste, do you? And why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us, something dark and mournful. It looks like a plume of life stream. Well, I mean, let's be honest, it looks like Marco. So there's going to be quite a lot of this because I regretted not taking many screenshots through the entirety of the game, realistically. And I do have some from Heaven's Warden before. What's this, I wonder? There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted. Huh. In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. The world as I used to see it, it feels as though I am dreaming while awake. This is more than the faded memory Meteon led us to believe. So Stola can see bits of it. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. This is amazing. I'm sorry, I love this. Ruins? But of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. I said, I think it was the start of the last episode or maybe the episode before, that because I'm so hopped up on painkillers that I would probably be a little bit more emotional. It's one of the reasons why I'm recording these back to back, so you get my unadulterated reactions rather than, oh, this is going on YouTube, reel it back a bit. Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate design of the top suggests it is man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I have seen this pattern before. Is this where Omega was from? I think this is where Omega was from. The design was Omega sent this way? The black and the silver. The metallic pillow has been partially melted, likely sometime in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. What is that? That's a dragon there. I don't actually want to aggro the dragon. But look! There in the distance. It looks like Cocoon. And then we've got some darkness there. Then we've got this beautiful kind of flowering. And the ruins of some kind of... I'm sorry, screenshot folder. In terms of triumphant world building, I mean, we know nothing about this place yet, and yet look how many things we can see. It looks like there's some kind of structure hanging out. I don't know. I don't know. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. Poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. The end of a star. I mean, this blows the Tempest out of the water, frankly, if you'll forgive the actual pun. Were you able to find anything? As I feared, still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which, unfortunately, isn't very far. I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. The ghosts, the dynamis. I think I might see something over there. I felt it too when I was near that thing. Can they see the dragons? Oh, they can't. They can't see the dragons. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. Before we... and in fact, even Stoller can't see it. Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. So these are made of dynamis, in which case, because Stoller won't be able to see them because it's not ether-based. Agreed, we found only more questions when we were in desperate need of answers. There's a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's starboard we've yet to explore. Let's try searching there then. Are we just going to discount the fact that I can see a dragon? A word before we join the others. The word where, Estinian? Oh, there's a gap there. Oops. I feel like I want to turn the volume up, but then that will throw out the sound balancing for all of my videos. Oh, I suppose I could put my headphones on. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. Oh. As I thought. Their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgard's soul and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheris? Or was this where they came from? Ah, better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Huh. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder? Ah, that's so interesting. And so odd that there's... oh, there's Wyverny star things as well. And... what most roughly could be described as an aetheryte. And a white mist dragons. Good dragons. Well. Look at the sculpting on these. They're Amano dragons just brought to life through sculpture. The brush strokes and... my sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It is as if Meteor herself has etched these images upon my heart. I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, given that she constructed this sanctuary itself. Look there. Are those ghosts, do you think? Surely mine eyes deceive me. This cannot be possible. Dragons. It is true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair. It seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place, meaning the others should see them as well.
dragons. Here.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred, where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist, in like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis.
Oh, and Thancred's got so little.
Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure.
So it's thanks to Thancred that we can actually see any of this.
That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on.
But it's
For how
only
long,
whilst his soul
however,
is here that...
remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business.
It's not going to be that easy.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work
I like the
will not
effect of the
alter its
feet.
nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
Yes, but the fact that she hasn't means something. Although she will undoubtedly unmake more of them as time goes on, which is why Hydaelyn gave us the ability to pull back the
Thancred gave his
threads.
life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
They're going to pick them off one by one. And now we know what they are doing as well. He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists, that he's the reason we're still breathing. If so, then maybe... I understand now why the Loporrits were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life. there but for Thancred's sacrifice. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive, that I might see again. Oh, so she can actually see. His sacrifice must not be waste. Of course, because she wouldn't have been able to see anything before, otherwise, would she? It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteion's will, yet here we are. Would that the price for his victory had not been so high. Yeah, they're going to pick off each of our friends one by one. Oops. And again, I like the fact that they're using the slightly different fonts. Despite Meteion's words, Urianger cannot accept his comrade is gone. Soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. Same. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm, that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Justinian, Imogen, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey the surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone is finished. Meteion said that these dragons are shadow and shade from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. I kind of feel that maybe they should have had a different jingle for this place. Something more somber and minor keyed. A visitor, not of this star. Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world? Thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame? Oh, how we would adore thee. Alas. With time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march into oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. Thou art unlike the others. This place ill befits thee. Do not tarry over long. The telling of my tale alters not its course. If thou knowest my brethren once ruled the skies, will our kingdom return? Should I boast that I was first among our hunters? Will the comrades I failed live again? Nay. Once I lived, and now I await the coming oblivion. Nothing more. This is not our home. To our home did come the metal demons, who of life and joy scoured it clean. Omega. These are mere bones, and among them do we rest our wings forevermore. Leave us now to our mourning, traveller. Thou wilt find no solace here. Unfortunately, I have not finished the Omega raids. In fact, how far did I get with the Omega stuff? That's the wrong one. Yeah, see, I only did the Delta Scape. I mean, I know the story of Omega. I've seen pretty much all the fights and stuff. I haven't done them. And I'm wondering if that will affect the ending of the story. To dwell on the past yieldeth naught. Our desires meant little to our destiny, and less now. Yet regrets find me nevertheless. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost. So glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver. No bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat. Never had we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. Yeah, so Omega and its kind, in its constant desire for evolution and surpassing itself and achieving perfection, and obliterated entire worlds, as we know. Here the metal came, my kin were many and splendid, elegant worms like unto ripples on the water, worms possessed of limbs so powerful as to rend the land in twain. Worms I have long since forgotten, faces lost to the tides of time. Poetic. Drink not of this spring. Tainted are its waters. Thy dainty form hath not the capacity to withstand it. They've done a really good job with the atmosphere here. And the atmospheric effects, actually. These are the same effects from Mordona. Thou wouldst bid me speak? Folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar. Only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in a lamentation. Amnol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will, I shall remain. Is this place entirely dragonkind? It certainly looks to be, doesn't it? Now, at least. Oh, what the? Okay, so that's, a thing. Oh. They led you here as well, did they? It was prescribed to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I've seen similar on Atheris. Midgard's Soma's kind must once have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Beecher said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This then is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. A murky liquid is pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious fetor is indicative of contamination. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. The stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonette within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonette was indeed hatched, there is no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops and I'll search the plains. I don't feel like I can muster an exuberant voice for this. Astromagnetic storm is the weather. I've not been searching for ether currents at all, have I? Oh, there's a fight. I don't want to kill this dragonette, although it is malformed, I suppose. So is this where Midgårdsummer fled from all those thousands of years ago? Because he is still with us, technically, isn't he? The boisterous howling hath been quieted by thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps some eggs within Omnal are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With a fire and fury, rage and rancour we gave answer. 'Twas a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild. A futile effort. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survive to hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer, or to be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now, in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. Yeah, I think they maybe should have changed the quest complete and thingy for something more melancholy for this place. It doesn't fit the tone. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed. Pain I understand, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. Screenshots. Oh my god, this place is depressing, as it should be. I mean, shit, the weight of what has happened here. You should feel depressed if you are engaged in this storyline. I mean, no slight on you if you are not. This is not storytelling that is for everybody's taste, I am sure. I do not mean to offend. With luck, they'll have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. Good to see you made it back in one piece. The more I see of this place, the more bewildering it becomes. Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? We could hear what the dragons had to share with you. And we would hear. Even if it's no different from what they told Uriange, it would have value. I chanced to gain audience with several dragons ere we return, though I expect their tales are much the same as those you heard. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? You could say that. Although meaningful. I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Demagen, Estinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating around. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? You considered that? so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity, but it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as it appears. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loporits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteon told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. And which of us will have to sacrifice. So, what you're saying is we've no way forward. At present, aye. If it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteons but the dragons that holds us here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there is no way for the dragons or anyone here on the island to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that is the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteon meant to unmake us, then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overcome the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner by overpowering the prevailing emotions. 'Twas Ultima Thule's architect, Meteon herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most, potent enough mayhap to dictate the course for others, and thus their domain, to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying hearts. But mayhap one of you will fare better. Then I shall guide thee. I'll end, they call him, in the dragon tongue. Thou will find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. Well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. I'll end. The pervading sadness of this music just going to wrap around this bit of the island. Oh. Level cheater? I should do the exploration really on Reaper or something to get the XP. Ooh, oily water. In fact, I will I'll pull those off onto there for a moment. It's almost a shame that the MSQ doesn't quest sync, but I understand why it does not.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I know those feelings.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
Oof.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star. And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinian!
Stay back!
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished. Crimson stains. Our misery Our shame. Too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
No. Justinian.
No! Not Justinian too!
There, they're going to pick us all off one by one.
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
I foresee more of these as we make our way through. 2 companions down. This is the burden that we bear. Because at the end of the day, is that somebody doing some crafting randomly in the... Yes, it is. Dear. I spy a vista. $84,000 XP. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? I suspect yes. If I'd known this place would claim Justinian too, No, it's what had to be done. I think every single one of them is going to be claimed, and it will leave us on our own to defeat Meteon. As by beating the mighty wings doth wind blow, when dragons may ne'er again touch the sky, he and the shade he bore shall soar free. The wind has stayed the fog that cover this island, and the air no longer feels quite so still stifling. We will enact change. Look there, the wind. This is Justinian's doing, I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. Oh yeah, I need to put... Oops. Why do I have a set called Naked Dark? In fact, I can remove the Dark Knight one from there because that makes no sense, does it? A powerful gale has delivered you to another island. The other signs should arrive before long. Oh man, this view is amazing. And so sad. And so beautiful. Look at it. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remained trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Justinian knew them better than most. He was a man of honour and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting Alphino, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we can survive here, why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they're unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alizé is right. We must press on for their sake. The test of will. Oh, this is emotionally quite draining. And that is exactly the point. Everything has been, the whole of Elpis was to bring out this forewarning of Dynamis. This idea that we have solved our problems with ether for so long. The people of Etheris, the original, the ancients, so dense in ether and yet so ignorant of Dynamis, the energy of emotion, the sorrow and anguish of these creatures that they weren't treating in a way that arguably some people would say that they should. That Hermes certainly thought so. And the creation of Meteion because of it. It is horrendously tragic. Many people will say, oh, it serves the ancients right. They should have realised. We're still doing research and science today into animal life. In terms of which think, which feel, which understand emotions, and so on and so forth. It's no surprise that there's, that even people as advanced as the ancients wouldn't necessarily, because of their understanding of science and the universe and life itself, is it any surprise that they didn't realise that Dynamis was a thing? Because they knew so much and they were so blessed with ether. Why would they go looking for other things? I'm not trying to excuse what they did. I'm just saying it's understandable, and therefore the tragedy that became them is understandable. At least from my point of view, it is. I don't know whether that makes me a terrible person or not. I don't know. Maybe it does. I hope it doesn't. I don't even know whether I had a point here. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Next time, folks, we will continue onwards through this overwhelmingly sad landscape and see what sacrifices are made next. Until then, folks, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the reaction, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all of the algorithm-y stuff. I'm not going to say happy end walking, I don't think, for these next few videos, because if you are going through these and feeling happy, you are not the same kind of person as I am, story-wise. I hope to see you back here for the next part, though. Cheerio.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.